This is Morten from English TV. We are reporting from IST booth here at Printing United in Atlanta 23. And it's actually it's a big pleasure for me because I'm talking to Errol. You are the president of IST North America.
Hi Morten, pleased to meet you. Yeah, good to have you here.
We got connected on LinkedIn not so long time ago, and you're also recently new with IST.
That is correct, yes.
How much fun do you have now?
Oh, I'm enjoying it so much. I mean, it's a great company. It's got good products and a good network of people, good friends in the industry. So it's a great fit for me with the overall experience. It's been good fun.
You told me before we turned on the camera that you, of course, knew about IST and you worked with IST through your previous work. I was just wondering, can you still be surprised about that purple light coming out of a lamp and what that does for print? Can you still be surprised about it?
Absolutely, every day. I mean, we always like to learn something new on it, so it's great to see it. To see the end result by putting solutions together is good for us. So yes, it is something that's really interesting, and I think a lot of people are not aware of what's possible. So, I'm hoping at IST we can help the industry, help the manufacturers, help the end customers, the suppliers, the consumables, just to get that experience of what light we bring to the world.
One thing is, of course, telling the story and get it to market. Another thing is that, I mean, since not everybody is just buying it, there are some obstacles. What are the biggest obstacles in your opinion?
The biggest obstacle, I think, is to be able to put a solution together. What is that solution? There's not really one size fits all. And with the industry changing so many times or so many different directions, what's new, what's coming up, and how can we make our systems work in a good solution for customers? So,
I actually thought that you would have said that it was ink cost, because that is sometimes when I talk to PSPs and converters, they are concerned that the photo initiators and the UV ink is considerably more expensive than the conventional inks. What is your view on that?
There is still a lot of talk about that. That's obviously a concern for everybody, but everybody in that area is in the same boat. So we have to look at it and find a solution. And what is that solution? Photo initiators are definitely part of the problem. Inks themselves, their costs and the way they react are certainly things, but we've got to look at putting a solution together and making sure that package is working. So it's not just about the inks, although it's an important part. There's also power consumption. There's also quantities that you have to run and volume that you produce and things like that.
And total turnaround time.
Total turnaround time, obviously a huge industry problem. Yeah.
One of the things that we're talking about in Europe right now, which I think will be hugely beneficial for the UV manufacturers and IST, of course, is that in Europe they talk about having carbon taxes, right? And if you have like carbon taxes, and as you say with the energy consumption, basically that maybe evens out a little bit on the ink cost of UV inks compared to having conventional, because the conventional are using more energy, right? So is that something that you're also looking at in North America?
We are looking at that, yeah. We are monitoring that. And again, because we're so diverse in so many different applications, we try to see what are the benefits of one, can we merge them over to the other one, can we integrate them? And really the solution and the understanding of everybody from a manufacturer, from a customer endpoint, from a consumable supplier, to put that whole package together. What's the right, as we say, one fit doesn't fit all, right?
I think that many PSPs, when they invest in equipment like new presses and binding equipment, the ROI calculations are relatively simple if you know your business, basically, right? Yes. But is it as easy to have an ROI calculation on a UV lamp? I mean, I know if you have a mercury lamp changing to LED, of course it's easy, right?
Yes.
But I was just thinking that if people have, let's say, a 10-year-old press, and they want to retrofit it with some
system.
Yeah. Do you think it's easy to calculate and convince it from a financial perspective?
It's relatively easy, depending on how deep you want to go and how much you want to get into it. But the calculations are there. The power savings from different components and different developments, as opposed to a transformer to a new system, which is electronic lamp controller system. Those are definitely things that make advantages. No warm-up times, no standby times. Quick on and off, especially if we look at LEDs and things like that. So there's a number of different reasons and different things that go into the calculation. But essentially, yes, it's what is it costing us to run, and what is the customer going to be paying for that or able to pay for that. So.
Last couple of questions here. I was just wondering if you have, let's say a customer doesn't know anything about it. Let's say, again, we have this guy that has a 10-year-old press, and they want to embark with IST and get an understanding of the value proposition here. How do they get started? I mean, what do you do? I mean, of course you call you, but
Well,
then what happens then?
Yeah, ideally they would call us and we'd have a discussion to see what is their type of work, what would suit them best, and looking to put a solution together, a package together that they understand what it is that they want. It's important to understand what their needs are and why we're putting a system on. To put just a system on, anybody can put a system onto a piece of equipment, but what is the real needs and what's the benefits? It's got to be a benefit for everybody, otherwise to me it makes no sense. So initial start of a phone call to get it going and then a discussion. And again, the nice thing about it is we have a good research and development. We're involved in a number of different industries, so thinking about what the application is certainly would help us to understand what their needs would be. And we'd work with them through that, try and advise them the right way.
So that's your part. Now I have helped you a little bit with the communication around it, right?
Right, sure, yeah.
Thank you, Errol.
I appreciate it. Nice to have you here.
Likewise.
And I wish you a good show.